last time I did 30 down squats on this channel, or well, last time I did them in general was 5 months ago when I was first starting out doing this whole daily calisthenics thing. And the video was almost 40 minutes long, dude. And I was doing it with a friend. I was doing it with Andrew. And maybe because it's two people, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe because it's two people and then there isn't as much editing. So that's probably why. But another thing could also just be like my endurance has went up and my strength and just my ability to persevere has been able to went up ever since then. Because this video is about 14 minutes long. So it's interesting how it's like I'm able to get like less than half of the footage, but it's probably because it was with another person. I was probably doing it with another person. So, but yeah, 30 down squats. And then after that, I did 40 more reps, which totals to about 500 total reps of squats. So when you do 30 down, you add everything up from 30 all the way down to one. That's about 465 reps. And if you want to get like a good even number, you can do just 35 more, which would make it 500. And I guess I just did five extra more. I just did five extra more. That's about it. So the reason why I'm doing this, it's not because it's like, oh, I want to see how well I'm doing or to challenge myself. It's because one of my friends, Andrew, actually, he was saying that, hey guys, Sunday, do you want to do 500 push-ups? And I'm like, sure. So, and I thought like we were gonna do them together, like he was gonna come over, or I was gonna go somewhere, but that ended up not happening. I was also pretty busy today. And today, usually on this day, I'll usually train my lower body. So it's like I didn't see the point in like fatiguing. I mean, I would have done them. I would have done them if I was able to do them with him. But I still didn't see the point just fatiguing my upper body when I was gonna train it literally the day after. So I'm like, let me go ahead. I'll just do 500 squats. So I already had the idea when I was going to do the push-ups. If I did do the push-ups, I was just gonna do 30 down, and then I was gonna do the 35 more push-ups. But I ended up just doing that with squats, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see just. Of course, like it gets easier. Of course, it's gonna get super easier the more you keep going. And then one thing too is like how almost immediately like my mental was being challenged. Like I almost immediately was like, oh man, oh my gosh, did I just tell myself I was gonna do this? So and I just did them. I think it had to have taken me maybe 45 minutes or so, maybe even 30 minutes. I can't remember. I wasn't really focused on the time. I was mostly just focused on the reps. Between each thing, I kind of like had to self time myself. So when it came to 30 and the late 20s, I give myself maybe a minute, and then going down from there, I gave myself 45 seconds, 33 seconds, 25 seconds, 12 seconds, and then after that, I kind of just gave myself like maybe like 10, 5, 7 seconds, whatever, just to kind of mimic how it would be like. Because preferably when you're doing a down workout, certainly 30 down, it's supposed to be a you go I go. So preferably you'd be wanting to do this with like another workout partner. And I would definitely say, like, if you're gonna do a down workout, definitely do it with a partner. Definitely do it with a friend. It's a lot more just enjoyable that way. And then you can also kind of have that proper rest time between each set, because it's like a person is going when you're not. So therefore, it's like it can actually in real time level out. So that way, so it's kind of like from 30 all the way down to 25, I had been resting 1 minute exactly, give or take. And so that doesn't allow for it to be things to be properly challenged, because it's like well, I'm not really decreasing that time properly. But again, it was still a challenge, still definitely a challenge. It was just kind of like you have to kind of get past the 20s, and then it's kind of like almost easy by then. Because the way I'm counting it, it's like, okay, 10 and then 9 more, 10 and then 8 more, 10 and then 7 more, and then 10 more, and then eight more, nine more, you know, that's how it kind of goes. So you just really have to get past the 20s, especially the like what early to mid 20s, because it just feels really hard in that little beginning part. But once you keep going, you're just gonna be all cool. You're gonna be chilling. Again, it's just a challenge of the mind. It's a challenge of how far you're willing to take it. Of course, having the physical capacity to do this as well is very important. Is very very important. I would not recommend a 30 down workout for a beginner. I would maybe recommend something like 15 down. That doesn't sound like a lot, but 15 down is still like 160 reps, I think. So like again, just make sure you do things according to your level. And if you want to do a 30 down workout, bro, go ahead, knock yourself out. Don't actually knock yourself out, but go ahead. Just make sure you're well hydrated. Hydrated. Make sure you have a good hearty meal full of like protein and stuff afterwards, just to make sure you recover well and you don't have like cramps or whatever the case may be. But if you wanted to go ahead do a 30 down workout, go ahead. Get you a friend. It would definitely be awesome to have a friend because you can kind of compare and contrast. You can see who, I mean, not to put anyone down, but it's like you can see who's kind of better. You can see where you're at in terms of your skill level, and then you can see where they're at. They can either be way ahead of you or behind you just by a little bit. So it's very interesting to see that because last times I did 30 down, I did them or I think maybe I've done 30 down like maybe four times prior to this one. So I did my first time doing 30 down I think was with my dad. He was able to go pretty well. He was able to go pretty well. And then second time I was with my friends. I was with three of them. We were all at different levels. Two of them were able to kind of like be neck and neck with each other. I was ahead. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I was ahead. And then another one who was very far behind because he didn't have much experience with working his legs. So it was very hard for him. And then another time was on this channel, I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually, it was in Africa. I was with my dad, and he was doing it pretty easily. Like he was doing it pretty easily. Like he had no problem. It was like as if it was muscle memory or something to him. And then the last time was, of course, here on this channel with Andrew, and it was just interesting to see like because since it wasn't like multiple people, it wasn't more than like two people. Since it was just only me and Andrew, and since we're at such different levels, he's catching up now. But at the time, we were at such different levels. It was just interesting to really see that like, dang, I'm like, am I a human being? Am I like a person? Like, am I like a machine in like human skin? I was just so confused. Like, I was literally confused. I'm like, yo, how are you so gassed right now? Like, I'm literally looking at him confused. Like, why are you tired? It was crazy. Like, I didn't say these things directly to him, but this is kind of like what I was thinking. I'm like, bro, why are you tired right now? And he had to go like sit down or like sit in the shade and stuff. This was during the summer, so it was hot. The sun was beaming on us, and like he had to go sit down and everything in the shade. I'm like, oh, bro, I don't know how you do this, bro, slow down. And it's not like Andrew's like fat or anything. It's not like he's underweight as well. And at the time, like he's a lot more fit now, but at the time he was still like relatively fit, especially before I knew him. So it was just still interesting. Like, am I that far ahead or am I different? So yeah, but I'm not trying to let this go to my head or anything like that. Again, I just wanted to bring up the example of like, oh, okay, you can compare and contrast, especially with something like this. I wouldn't say like you only have to stick to like down workouts to do this, but it's fun. It's a fun way to do it. It's like it's just a different rep scheme and set way and like a way of setting up your sets compared to like just doing like three straight sets or three sets of five or blah 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 whatever the case may be or five sets of five whatever. It's just kind of like because it is more of just a mental battle, and you can see like who has the muscular endurance and who has the muscular strength and then who has like the physical like not the physical but the mental endurance to just keep doing this, because this is and not I want to say it's insane, But if I told the average person, I'm like, oh, I just did 500 squats or 505 squats, they'd be like, what the world? What? What do you mean you just did 505? Like when I tell my girlfriend, like, oh, I just did like, you know, oh, only did 100 squats. She'll look at me like I'm crazy. Like 100 is like 10 squats to me or something like that. So again, it's just interesting to compare because it's like this way of working out, like sure I could have just done 100 squats straight, or I could have done 3 sets of like squats or something like that to failure, like 3 sets of barbell squats to failure. But that's not challenging. That's not a challenge to me. Matter of fact, actually, when at there was a time where I wasn't doing barbell squats, or well, I was doing them and then I stopped, and instead of doing them, I was just doing a bunch of bodyweight squats, just a bunch of bodyweight squats. And when I went back to doing barbell squats were easy. They were incredibly easy. Like they were so easy. I remember when I was first doing barbell squats, it was like, oh my gosh, I have to get on the bar. I'm like pushing myself and everything like that. Dude, I'm telling you, when you torture yourself like this, doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reps of this exercise, like you're like your pain, whatever, your pain receptors, whatever, I don't know, I can't remember the term, like it just doesn't even matter anymore. Like again, like bro, like sure I might think barbell squats are like, oh man, they're the hardest exercise ever, dude, do 500 squats, bro. Do 30 down squats, bro. Do them and then tell me which one is harder. Which one is harder, the squats or just 3 sets of barbell squats? And that's something you got to think about too. Think about it. Okay, you're doing, let's say you do 10 reps and you're doing 3 sets of barbell squats. And maybe you're squatting with 225 pounds, right? Or maybe it's 200 pounds. So that is 30 reps in total with 200 pounds. Now, let's just take your body weight, however much you weigh, whatever the case may be, and then just say 500 reps. 500 reps. 500 reps of your body weight versus 30 reps of, 200 pounds, plus like, however much body weight you're squatting. Which one sounds more daunting? Which one sounds more intense? Which one sounds more challenging? I would assume that you're probably thinking it's the 500 because it 100% is. Now it's like I'm not doing them 500 straight, or nor am I doing something like 5 sets of 100 or whatever the case may be. But still, like 30 down, I'm still getting to 500 reps at some point in some type of way. So again, it's like, again, body weight is still very much challenging. Like you don't have to use weight, like unless you want to. If you want to train like that, that is fine, but you don't have to. Especially like just look at my legs right now. Like I'm not that lean, but just look at the freaking like thickness of my thighs, bro. Like as I was squatting, like I had to pull up my shorts to where they are because my legs were getting too swole, like too like freaking engorged and with blood, that like they couldn't like fit properly when I was squatting down. So I had to end up pulling them up to like closer to my waistline. So it's like again, there's so many ways you can use your body weight in order to consistently challenge yourself, because it's like again, you have to have the mentality of like wherever you go, you are able to work hard, right? To show that you don't need reliance on this, you don't need to have reliance on that, that you don't need to have any piece of equipment or anything like that. Imagine, gym, all the, gyms and gym equipment is like gone, all that disappears. Are we just gonna stop working out now? Like because all gym equipment just disappear like that? No, you shouldn't, because you have the ground and you have your body and you have your own mind, which can facilitate creativity. So you have to take advantage of that. Like don't ever say you can't do it, okay? Because you can, and you have the resources. And those resources are within you.